And as always, I like to remind you that I have placed a link in the description down below to this system in case you want to look at this further or acquire one for yourself. So first, I'll show you what you get inside of this box when you purchase one of these AKEEYO AKY-Z3GT dash cams. Then we'll take it out in the car so we can see all the features of it. Then I'll show you some actual driving footage both in day and at night to see how well it actually performs. Next up is gonna be a camera, and this is the front camera. Oh, it's pretty neat. And it's pretty tiny and it has a little mount on here, but let me give you a closer look at the camera with the mount installed. And what's really interesting about the front camera is that they designed it so it could be placed directly on the dash of our vehicle, or it could be placed on the windshield of our vehicle, which is probably where I'm gonna install it. Next up, looks like we have the rear camera. Oh yeah, here it is. And the rear camera can be mounted internally inside of the vehicle, or it could be mounted outside of the vehicle because the camera is waterproof. Now, as you can see, to mount the camera, they have provided very high adhesion tape, which I can peel and then allow me to stick this camera anywhere to my vehicle. However, they have also provided a bracket and additional double-sided tape or screws. If I wanted to screw this onto my vehicle, I can. And if I use the bracket, what that allows me to do, it allows me to mount the camera and be able to adjust the camera tilted like this. But what about the cable for the rear camera? As you can see in here, is quite a bit of cable. This is roughly approximately 800 centimeters long, which is equivalent to about 26 feet of length. And we also get a GPS module because, as I mentioned earlier, this dashcam does support GPS capabilities. And as you can see, there is double-sided tape on the bottom of this antenna, which we can peel and then place somewhere in the dash of our vehicle so it doesn't move around. And to power up the dashcam system, they have included two power options. The first is to use the cigarette lighter adapter plug, and this cable has a length approximately about 225 centimeters, which is roughly about 7 feet. However, if we do not want to use the cigarette lighter adapter plug, they have also included a hardwire kit if we wanted to connect this dashcam system directly to the fuse box of our vehicle. And we also get an instruction manual showing us all the components of this dashcam system and how it is supposed to be connected to the vehicle. Now, the manual is in full Japanese, however, there is a downloadable version in English also, and I think that it's very possible that we're gonna see the next shipments of this unit come with an English manual. However, because they have included plenty of illustrations and a lot of pictures, I think it's gonna be fairly easy to connect this dashcam just by following these diagrams. But at this point, you may be wondering, Alex, you said this is a 4-channel dashcam. I only saw a front camera and a rear camera. Well, and that is because AKEEYO gives us the option of customizing this dashcam with the side cameras, and here are the two choices. Let me show you the differences between them. First off, we can see that the side cameras are very different from each other in terms not only of how they function and how they look. Let's start with the silver one first. The silver side camera only comes in this color, which is silver, which is gonna work with most vehicles' car color. However, if you're not a fan of silver, then this is gonna be the only option you get, and you may wanna consider the black camera instead. Now let's talk mounting of the silver camera. And this camera is waterproof because it will be mounted on the outside of the vehicle, and that is simply done with double-sided tape and then it's stuck to the side. But now let's talk about the black camera option. As you can see, the body is rubberized and it's a flat black color, so that means that this is gonna blend in with pretty much any vehicle color out there. Now the camera is waterproof, so it could be mounted on the outside of the vehicle, and they have provided double-sided tape which I can peel and then stick this to my car. But now let's talk about mounting the black camera. And the very first place that this can be mounted is on the inside of the vehicle, somewhere underneath the windshield, and this can act as a cabin camera for the inside of our car. However, this can also act as a side camera. Now, this is not gonna be installed like the silver camera on the side. This is gonna be installed like this, in this orientation, typically underneath the mirror. But also notice that the black camera can also be aimed by moving this up and down, left to right, where the silver camera does not have that adjustment. And here's what the silver camera looks like after being installed. Now, some installers actually will drill a hole to get the cable to go into the car, but I don't. I just place the camera really close to the edge so the cable can travel and be hidden inside of the door panel. As you can see, I use some of this black tubing to conceal the cable further. And in case you're wondering, the black tubing was included in the kit. I can cut a section and then I can feed the cable through the tubing, and then I can peel the back of this and then stick this to my car. Now, I cut cut mine into sections, but because this is flexible, this could technically be a single piece of tubing that is stuck to the vehicle. Also notice that once the cable makes it to the edge, I can hide the rest of the cable into the trim using the spatula so it travels into the vehicle. Here's what the black camera looks like installed, and it's very stealthy as opposed to the silver camera. The only difference in here is the wire. Some installers will remove the actual mirror to route the cable. I don't. I actually put the wire through the trim of the door, hiding it, making the installation a little bit easier for me. Now, as you can see, we have presented with three views. We have the view for the rear of the vehicle, and we have the famous two side cameras. Now we can see that all cameras are recording. Now this is only showing us three cameras. However, there are four cameras that are actually being recorded. We have the date and time on the top, and we also have indicators of what has been enabled on this dashcam system. Now if I tap on the screen, we can bring up a quick menu where we can swap views. If I wanted to see the front of the vehicle, this is the front. If I wanted to change that view one more time, now we can look just at the rear of the vehicle. Tap that one more time. We are seeing now the driver's side camera. Tap that one more time. Oh, let's see that truck pass by. I love side cameras. And then we are seeing the passenger side camera. And if we tap it one more time, we have a split view where we have the rear view and that side camera view. In this case, it happens to be the driver's side. Tap that one more time. This is now going to be the rear view, side camera, and then the front of the vehicle. If I tap this one more time, we get one more view, and this is the view that we started with, which is my favorite, rear and two side cameras. We can also stop the recording at any time by pressing this button, and notice that the recording has stopped, and we can then resume the recording by pressing that button one more time. Then we have a camera icon that allows us to take a picture. And then we have a lock icon. If I press that lock icon, we are flagging the video that's being recorded right now because we're telling the dashcam something special happened. I want to find that video a lot easier in the future. Perhaps we see a suspicious person passing by. We can flag that video, and that will make it a lot easier for us to find it in the future. We also have a little microphone, and we can turn off the audio from being recorded if we wanted to have a top secret conversation, or we can re-enable the audio to be recorded. But now let's play back some videos. I'm gonna stop the recording, and I'm gonna access the playback menu. Now the playback menu has a very nice organization in the way that they label every single file. You can see this is channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and channel 4. And we can easily find which is the one that we're interested on. Let's go back to the front. But now let's take a look at the parking assist. I'm gonna put the car on reverse, and you'll automatically are presented with the reversing view. And not only that, we have guidelines to help us reverse and avoid hitting either the curb or a potential car behind us. Now, what's really cool about these guidelines is that they are adjustable, and I'll show you how much we can adjust them. I have never seen this level of adjustability on a dash cam. For example, if I've not wanted to have them that long, I can make them shorter. But we can also adjust the upper width, or we can decrease the bottom width. We can also adjust the x-axis, and I'll show you what that looks like. And we can also adjust the y-axis. And all of this allows us to have the most accurate representation of how far we are away from objects. And we can also change the ratio of the lines. How close do we want the red to be to the yellow and the yellow to the green? So this is a tremendous amount of customization as opposed to the generic reversing lines that don't always work for all vehicles. In here, this is definitely gonna work for pretty much any vehicle once they are fully customized. But now notice what happens when I put the car into D. So I take it out of reverse. And it returns to its normal view. So that is a great feature that the parking assist can switch, and that we get parking assist guidelines. Now, as a reminder, to enable the parking assist guidelines, there is one extra wire that has to be connected to the back tail lights of the vehicle to enable that function. And this dashcam has another wire that can be connected to the turn signals. If I put the turn signal on, it blows up the side camera. Makes it easier for me to pass, and when I'm done with the turn signal, the camera returns to its normal default view, and that is really cool. But I do want to point out that the ability for the side camera to be enlarged with the turn signal only works with channel 3, which in this case is the driver's side, which is the left side of my vehicle. If I were to live in Europe and I wanted to have the passenger side, which is the right hand side of the vehicle for us in the United States, be enlarged, then I will have to plug in this side camera into channel 3 in order to enable that functionality. But another neat thing that I found is that we can actually change this into a heads-up display mode by clicking on the side button. And whenever we want to go back to the camera view, we can just click that side button again and it returns to the normal view. And you also may have noticed this little icon over here, and that icon brings up a list of commands. And what these commands are, they're voice commands. They are all in Japanese. Show me the rear camera, show me the side camera, start recording, stop recording. And because I don't speak Japanese, unfortunately, I'm not able to test this. However, AKEEYO tells me that English support for the system is coming, so we will be able to control this dashcam with English commands as well. But now let's move over to the settings of the dashcam, and we'll begin with the parking monitoring feature. Now, the parking monitoring feature can only be enabled if I have the hardwired kit. Now, also, let's talk about the gravity sensing option. This dashcam is automatically going to sense when you get into a car crash, and it's going to flag that video for reference. We can change how sensitive that sensor is to detecting that you got into a car crash. If I have this set too high, any little movement or vibration may trigger that and make the dashcam think that I got into a car crash. So I like to keep that on low. And here is where it gets really interesting, because every camera on this system can be adjusted in terms of vertically and horizontally. So we can take the image and flip it this way, or we can take the image and flip it this way. Now, this is very convenient if we're mounting the dashcam in an unusual location. But now that I showed you the main features of this dashcam, the settings, and all the different views that are possible with this 4-channel system, let's go take a look at some driving footage to see how well it actually performs. And we are now looking at the AKEEYO AKY-Z3GT daytime driving footage. And the first thing you'll notice is that AKEEYO provides software that synchronizes all the cameras. So we are seeing the front of the vehicle, the rear of the vehicle, and the side cameras. But we can also individually blow up any one of the views if we were curious to see a little bit more detail. And this is great. But not only that, the software gives you a little bit more control than just playing it back on your standard Windows software. We have the ability to slow down the video. This type of capabilities are only available normally to people who have editing software. With this software that they include, now we have the same capability included as part of the package of buying this dashcam. We could even slow down frame by frame. So that is pretty neat. And here's the AKEEYO AKY-Z3GT system at night. Front camera, rear camera, and 2 side cameras. Again, we can blow up any of the cameras if we wanted to see more detail. We can also hear the audio. And we can also take a screenshot, which could be convenient if we're trying to get a screenshot of all 4 cameras or one camera individually. We can take a picture and send it out to somebody who might want it, such as the insurance company. And that was the AKEEYO AKY-Z3GT 4-channel dashcam system, which, as you saw, packs a ton of functionality, not only in terms of all the features that they included in this package, but also the fact that we can choose what kind of side cameras that we want to use with the system. So if you guys have any other questions regarding the AKEEYO AKY-Z3GT dashcam system, please put that in the comments down below. Remember, I put a link to the system in the description also if you want to check this out further or acquire one for yourself. And if you guys found any part of this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more dashcam reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.